Hey everybody, welcome to another DFV episode. I am Black Cinephile.
I am AKA Brad.
He is AKA Brad. He is back.
I
He
am
is
back.
He is back to AKA Brad. Brad, how's it going with the new house? Everything good?
Going good. Kitchen is now fully functional, which is nice. So I can actually cook food here.
Mhm.
And I am kind of moving my desk around, so I got to actually figure out my office space here. Get some stuff on the walls, the fun
Right.
stuff starts now.
Okay, good, good. I'm glad you're happy. Today we have an old school we got an old school spy showdown, but these are more like spy homages and remakes here rather than the old school, James Bond kind of episode. So we got Guy Ritchie's remake of the 1964 series The Man from U.N.C.L.E, U.N.C.L.E, and we have Matthew Vaughn's film Kingsman: The Secret Service. Yeah, man. These you know what, man? This was a pretty solid matchup here, man. I wasn't mad at this.
Yeah. Well, hold on. First off, have you seen either of these movies before?
Oh, I didn't know Guy Ritchie made the Man from Uncle film. When it first came out, I said, okay, I recognize those leads, Henry Cavill and Armie Hammer. I didn't know Guy Ritchie was behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, he did this one just before he did The Gentleman, which is another
Hmm.
really good one
Yeah, that's on
that
my
has
list.
the same kind of tone to it. It's not a spy thriller, but it has the same kind of, action.
Right, right. Because every time I see a Guy Ritchie film, I can't think of one that didn't deliver to me. I even enjoyed the Sherlock Holmes films. I've only seen the first one, but he always delivers to me. So I didn't know he was behind this. And Kingsman, even though I like Matthew Vaughn for his kick-ass films, I think he just did the first one. Um,
Hmm.
Kingsman, when I would see the commercials, they didn't really seem like they were like my type of movies, so I just never really got into them. Uh, but yeah, man, I saw this and I was grateful that you introduced both of these movies to me.
I'm glad that you finally watched this because we've had to have talked about Kingsman at some point because I think this is one of my favorite like spy thriller movies.
I think I asked you what you thought about it because I think you saw one of them at the theaters, and I said, "Oh, what you think?" You said, "Oh, I liked it," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I think that's where we left off. I think you either
Okay.
saw the prequel or you saw the sequel. One of
It
them,
must have been the sequel because I
yeah.
still haven't seen the new one yet, the prequel with Rasputin.
Okay, okay, all righty, all right, man. So which one you want to go for?
So for this one, I'm kind of thinking chronological.
All right. That's it's a little artsy, but let's do it.
Yeah, I mean we got to do something new every once in a while.
Correct.
So that brings us first off with Kingsman: The Secret Service, the Matthew Vaughn movie. So this one takes place in a fictitious world where you have the secret agent society known as the Kingsmen, which operate in the great old city of London. And through this movie, we are introduced to the Kingsmen through the eyes of Eggsy, who is one of the new possible recruits for the organization to take up one of the, I think it's 10 seats that they have at the table, which is very much based on King Arthur's Knights of the Round Table, with each person even giving the code names of different knights around table. The one being replaced being Lancelot.
Mhm.
That is the very basic synopsis of this movie.
Yes. Like I said, this is one of those films that I always knew it existed and it was kind of popular, but I was like, that doesn't look like that's for me. Because I don't know, it just looked like it was the same thing I kind of criticized it for, are kind of the same reasons I ended up loving it. It looked very over the top. It looked very kind of raunchy, kind of like unnecessary. But when I watched the film, those are kind of the same reasons I like it throughout the
Mhm.
film. Like, I grew to love Eggsy. He's the perfect underdog in this world. He's likable. He's brave. He has guts, and he comes from nothing. but he's given this Kingsman challenge everything he's got. I think Taron Egerton is a great he's a great relatable lead in this film, and I didn't expect that. Uh,
Mhm.
so you go from that, and let me just say, look, I love me some Sam Jackson, all right, but the first half of this film, I was like, I'm not feeling the villain aspect with the Richmond Valentine character. I like that Sam
Villain, which is I think makes him such a much better villain than, say the evil kind of, oh, I'm totally evil. He literally thought he was doing the best for humanity. Like he saw himself as the good guy.
yeah,
And
I
I
got
like
that.
that he kind of played it off like he was just some dorky guy. He wasn't some grand mastermind. He wasn't somebody that has great plans for world domination. He just wanted to get everybody together to save the planet. And when
Mhm.
nothing else worked, he decided to then use lethal force in order to do so.
Hamill, dude, Mark Hamill is an
Oh,
underrated. He's an underrated secret weapon of anything he's in,
oh,
animated
he's
or
fantastic in everything he's in. I hate that people only know him as like Luke Skywalker and Joker because everything he pops up in, he's absolutely hilarious.
I think that's those are a good two roles to be known for, the animated Joker and Luke Skywalker. But I'd also say Skips from a regular show. Is he Skips? He's
Yeah, he
Skips,
plays
right?
Skips. Yeah,
Okay,
the
yeah,
Yeti.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
But I like how Mark Hamill, he's tied up in the chair, and right before Sam Jackson and his girlfriend come through to shut everything down, the guy's like, wait right here. He's like, I'm tied up. Where am I gonna go? Like, I love
Mhm.
the look.
They're tying him down. He's holding him, and she's just covering the bodies. And I
Right.
love how that's how we're introduced to the villain. Is him going, "Yeah, I hate the sight of blood. I just can't do it." I see a little drop, and it's just, bleh, bleh.
I like how that ties back to his uh well, look, if y'all don't know by now, we ruin things here. This is DFV. So if you haven't seen this by now, it's been years. But
Oh yeah.
if you haven't seen this by now, we going in. But I like how that ties back in later when
He calls it something, but it is an actual like fear. Like arachnophobia is a fear of spiders. There is a fear of seeing blood.
let me tell you okay. That might be it. Uh let me tell you something, man. I love the scene in the church. Cause listen, I saw that church scene out of context before I saw this movie. Like
Mhm.
I remember
Oh,
I
everybody has.
I remember I was on YouTube and somebody had said, "Man, this reminds me of the church scene from Kingsman." And I saw it out of context and I watched it. I was like, "Man, these spies in this movie must be brutal. They killing a whole church. What did they do?" And
Mhm.
then when I see the film and I know the context behind it, I said, "Oh, okay, I get it now." Um, I
Yeah, when
don't
you put a
know.
trained assassin under a mind control to just kill, he's going to just kill.
Yeah. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that scene. It's filmed in an exciting way. And
Mhm.
obviously the people in this church are people that, if you're a human being, yeah, you don't want to be associated with hate groups in real life. So it kind of takes the edge off, but it's like it's still an unsettling scene to me. Because I'm
It
like,
is.
yeah.
And that's the point of just showing just how powerful this device is, that it literally turned this, you would think of like churchgoers as like a peaceful group of people and everything.
Hmm.
And it turns them into absolute savages using everything they can, like breaking off parts of the benches to use to stab people, you know, uh, pulling out knives, guns, using the, different basically everything they can get around them is a weapon, and they're mind controlled at that point. We see it through his eyes that he you know well, Harry's eyes,
It was shown
that
in his eyes.
through the glasses we could see
Oh yeah, yeah,
everything that was
yeah, yeah.
happening through his glasses, and that's how everybody else is introduced to it. And I love how Merlin's reaction is, what are you doing? What's going on here? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And I like when the machine is turned off, how he like comes out of it and he's like, "What did you do to me?"
Hmm.
Because that wasn't me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that was an unsettling scene. I put that on the same level as like how I felt when I watched This Is America. You know, the music
Mhm.
video that Childish Gambino did, and how when he shoots up the black church and all the crazy stuff that's happening. It's
Yeah.
like it's filmed well, but you're like, oh my goodness, that's horrible. You know,
It's
uh
the shock value of it being acting like it's normal.
right. And he just
That's
has
where
a
the
straight
shock value
face the
comes.
whole time. He has a straight face. That
Yeah.
makes it a little bit more terrifying. Yeah, I thought that was a very well shot scene, man. Like Matthew Vaughn, he knows how to direct connect action. Like, here's another way these two films work so well. It's that him and Guy Ritchie, they're very stylistic at the way they show action.
They love those drone shots with the pans and zooms in like
Mm-hmm.
large scale kind of scenes.
Mm-hmm.
They both have that down very well.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, they're both very well at that. I mean, they both do that stuff very well. Yeah, I like that. I thought in the end, I like how in the end it shows real stakes here. It shows real stakes on a massive global scale with everyone fighting as the whole
The
thing
SIM
is the
cards.
SIM card has been detonated and everyone's fighting each other and trying to kill each other. And then you have it on an intimate scale where Eggsy's mom is dangerously close, terrifyingly close to killing his baby sister. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like that was like, I was like, man, this is intense. You know, this like that's what I mean. Like this film, it is over the top, but it does have its humane, actual, oh shoot, something could happen kind of moments, you know?
Oh yeah, this is one of those movies where it's like no holds barred. It is completely within the realms of reality of this movie for her to then strangle her daughter, during this scene. And it wouldn't feel out of place in this movie. It would have been done in a shocking manner, but at the same time, it could have happened in this movie. It basically, ever since, Harry is killed, it, this movie basically cranks it to, yeah, this is real. Because I
Yeah.
think before that, we're kind of presented with the idea of, oh, there's not too much to worry about in this world, because we have the death of Mark Hamill's character, and that's basically it. Everybody else has been just detained or they've been turned over to Valentine's side. And then even then, he admits to Eggsy that, the girl at the beginning who died during the, what was it, the water kind of test or the
Mm-hmm.
flood test, she was trained. She was an operative that was trained to do that, to, put together the idea of teamwork for the rest of the tests. The
Oh, she
blanks
was
with the dog. Hmm?
I don't think I remember him saying she was trained. I think I remember him saying like she's okay now. She's working a great 9 to 5 job and like, you know, I thought he said that. I didn't know she was like like a setup.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought
she was set up for it. Like that's
oh okay.
what her job was, is basically helping kind of get cadets through that first kind of phase and everything, and to see if they would save her or not.
Yeah. I like the final test with the dogs where it's like okay, you want to join? Shoot the puppy.
Or
You'll
no, shout the dog.
shoot the
It's
dog
just
that
it's that simple. So shoot the dog.
shoot the dog that you've been raising this whole time. And Eggsy can't do it because he loves his dog. He loves the pug. I gotta be honest, man. If I was him, I would have picked the pug. I like pugs
Oh yeah.
when they pick their dogs.
Well, I
But
love when he picks it, and he's, the one, I think it's Roxy, because he's mocking that she picked a poodle,
mhm.
and she's like, "Oh, pug, huh? Wait, I thought this was a bulldog. It's gonna get bigger, right?"
Right. But I like how when he confronts who's my man that Colin Firth plays in this film? I keep forgetting his name.
Oh,
Harry? Is it Harry?
no, Harry is, well, Colin Firth is Harry.
Yeah, that's what I mean to talk about. Yeah, Harry.
Oh, okay.
So I like when he comes over to Harry's house later and say, hey man, did you have to shoot your dog? He says, yes. We'd all have the same initial reaction as Eggsy, where he sees the dog as like a
Yeah,
taxidermy in the back.
mounted up on his wall.
He says, "What kind of sicko are you? You shoot your dog and then taxidermy him?" He says, "No, the gun was a blank. Like the bullet was a blank. I took care of him until he died later, and then I taxidermied him." He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you should lead with that next time."
Yeah. I do love well, even you have Michael Caine in this movie as Arthur,
Mm,
the king of the round table.
mm-hmm.
And I love when him and Eggsy, like following Harry and everything like that, like Eggsy returns. And this is when Eggsy is aware of what's going on, how he's doing, and he tries to like convince Arthur, or I can't remember what his name was outside of Arthur, uh, but convince him that this is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They need to do something to stop it, and then it's revealed that he's a part of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
that's a huge scene where I absolutely love the direction it goes, because you can start feeling a little tense about them during that conversation, where you're
Yeah.
like, okay, Arthur's not seeming very good here, and then offers the drink and everything like that, and you're like, okay, something's gonna happen, and then he pulls out the pen, which were showed earlier is the toxin that can be activated remotely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Uh yeah, that was a very well done scene. I thought the ending was pretty cool with everybody's heads exploding.
Oh yeah, when they activated the chips in people that were
Right.
implanted.
Right. I thought that was very well done with the music and everything. Did Homeboy die? The preppy kid who got kicked out of the program because he snitched before the train ran him over. And
No, he did not die. He didn't have one of the chips. He was just kind of one of the people that was given the safety bunker.
okay,
He
okay.
wasn't given the cure to make sure that he didn't get affected. He was in one of the safety bunkers that didn't have any of the chips in it, so he wouldn't be affected by it.
Okay, all right, cool. Um, yeah, overall, I thought this was a very solid movie. I liked it. I thought it was very well done. I thought it had good action. I know there's a lot of controversy about the final scene. I I take it or leave it. I feel like it's like not the scene where he saves his, not the scene where he comes back for the guy that beat up his mom in the bar, but like the final scene with the guy and the princess. I know there was like a lot of controversy over that
Oh
scene.
yeah, with yeah.
I take it or leave it. I'm like, I because the way Matthew Vaughn described it, he was like, well, in James Bond, you always see him go off with the ladies, and you
Yeah,
never
he
really
always
saw.
gets the girl in the end.
Right. So I figured let's do that in our own raunchy way, and I was like, all right, I'll take it or leave it. Outside of that, I thought it was a very well-rounded movie. It kept me intrigued, and if I ever find time, I might watch the second one and maybe the prequel. Um, I
Yeah.
gave it a 4.
This one's a 5 for me.
Oh,
It's
5.
I think everything's on point on this one. The thrill scenes are real. Like when they're going through the training and everything like that, there is an actual
Mhm.
sense of danger within everything. Like the railroad scene that you mentioned a little bit, where the one guy fails. The fact that it's right there. It's an actual train that's there. He's on the tracks and everything, and he's being pressured to give up everything after being drugged, and you don't know that it's a part of the test.
Mhm.
You just think, oh, this is it. He's been captured. He's going to be tortured to get information on the Kingsman, and then
Right.
you find out it's part of the test.
Yeah, that
uh
was a good fake out.
that was a good fake out. I love the scene following the church when Harry comes out, and Valentine kind of greets him, and they have the little discussion about this is kind of like those movies we used to watch, you know, those spy thrillers. Now I'm going to give you my convoluted plan, tell you everything you want to know, and then you're going to get out of it somehow and go off and stop me. And I love Harry's response of, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Let's go with that. And then Valentine just goes, well, it's not that kind of movie, and just shoots him point blank in the face. And I love his response to that. Oh my God, is he dead? Well, that's what happens when you shoot somebody in the head.
Right.
You know, like the action and comedy go hand in hand in this perfectly.
I do like how this film pays homage to films, to other films. I mean, like I like how, he's talking to young Exy in the mirror before he's like ever recruited or put through the program. He's like, say, man, have you ever seen what's the first film you mentioned? Trading Places, and he's like,
Oh
no.
yeah.
He's like, Pretty Woman, no. He names another one, and he was like, listen, man, I'm offering to give you a chance to make something out of yourself. He's like, oh, like My Fair Lady.
Yeah.
You're thrown off like he knows My Fair Lady.
Yeah. I love how they play around with that a little bit. And, he's like, huh, My Fair Lady, huh? Well, surprising, but okay.
I think he goes, well done. And he says, yeah, like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, man. I enjoyed it though. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. Ready to move on?
I am ready.
All right. Now we have The Man from U.N.C.L.E. by Guy Ritchie. All right. So basically this film, this is a spy thriller, and it is set, I want to say, it's in the 60s, right? Yeah, it's in the 60s.
Yeah, it's during the Cold War.
It's during the Cold War, and it's in the 60s. And you have these two operatives who, it starts off with them kind of chasing each other. So you have a KGB agent named Aaliyah chasing after a CIA agent, a thief turned CIA agent, Napoleon, and who is trying to escape the scene with the Nazi scientist's daughter. I think her name is Gabby. Yeah, yep. Gabby, played by Alicia Vikander. And they're trying to flee the scene. And Aguila's mission is to stop them. Basically, stop Napoleon from taking her. What his mission is, whatever happens, don't let him take Napoleon. And Napoleon's mission is, whatever happens, extract Gabby. It leads to a nice car chase, a nice chase scene in the beginning. But later on, we discover when Napoleon, brings Gabby to the Americans, that actually Napoleon and Leah are going to be working together with Gabby in order to get close to her father and basically stop I don't want to say a global event from happening because that sounds corny, but stop something that could be
basically to stop, I think it is the Chinese from getting access to a new nuclear warhead. That is a lot easier to make. I think that it was the Chinese, or no, the Nazis.
Yeah, the Nazis. Yeah. Basically stop the Nazis from getting a warhead. So basically it's kind of like the Odd Couple. These guys who you would never expect them being paired up together. They don't like each other, are forced to work together with a cunning, beautiful lady tagging behind them. So I gotta say this, man. When I first watched this, I like the whole style of it. I like the style with the credits and the cinematography and how Guy Ritchie was really playing into the whole 60s vibe. I appreciated that. When it started, of course, I really appreciated Henry Cavill's, Mad Men type of accent in this film. I feel like he really nailed that.
Yeah, he almost comes off. I've never seen the original Man from U.N.C.L.E. show, so I don't know how accurate this is to that show. But his portrayal reminds me very much of like Archer from the show Archer.
Yeah, but a more serious, more competent version of Archer.
A little bit more of a competent version, yes, but more or less, his portrayal just came off as Archer, and then we just had, a KGB agent. I love during the opening chase scene how when he's chasing them in the car, and he's just looking behind, just going, "Look at him go."
Like
And Gabby's like, "Shouldn't you shoot him? It just doesn't feel right."
he's trying to stop the car.
He's
Like
trying to stop the car.
he is in awe of Aguila trying to stop the car. And that leads into my second point, man. Army Hammer, dude. I liked his portrayal of what is his name?
Uh,
It
Kirikin
Kirikin.
was what he's referred to, because they're referred to by the last name. So Henry
Kirikin.
Cavill plays Napoleon Solo, and then Kirikin is the KGB agent played by Army Hammer.
Okay. Well, I liked Army's portrayal of Kirikin. I feel like he had the Russian accent down packed, and he actually seemed like a guy that was everything was serious. He wanted to complete the mission. He didn't want to play. Initially, he didn't want to play the romantic game with Gabby. Everything was serious and on a mission, and he's out to uh, he's out to do his
He's
father's.
basically there to prove that his name isn't tainted, because his father had failed the KGB. So he was a very serious person that was, he saw Solo as a thief and a crook, which he is. He was an art thief that got caught, and then the CIA bailed him out of jail because they saw his talents.
Oh man, I love that dialogue between them when they're sitting down and they're kind of like testing sizing each other up a little bit. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you're nothing but a thief." And they let me guess, they got you by the cojones, and that's why you're doing this. He says, "Well, let me let you know what I know about you." And
Yeah,
I
I've
love
checked
how
your record too.
and I love how the more he digs into like Kirikin, like oh you're doing all this to I guess to salvage some kind of name. And I like how the music goes, and Kirikin is he keeps like tapping his finger because you can tell he's getting more and more upset. And then he says, "And your mom, I can imagine she was pretty close friends with some of the army sergeants." And and he flips over the table, and you expect him to start fighting, and Henry Cavill was just looking up at him like, "Dude, I dare you. Show everybody here that you don't have control." And I thought that was a great scene.
Yeah, I love how they play with Kirikin's like anger throughout the entire movie. Like you always get those close up his hands as he's like trembling because he's trying to contain himself.
Yeah, it's pride.
And yeah, and I love how one of the first times we kind of see him having to control that is when you had the two operatives, the Nazi operatives that were there trying to see if they were real people or not by robbing them to see how they react. And it's, "Give me your watch, give me the ring and everything." And he's playing it cool, and then he just punches the one guy, knocks him down, one punch. And Solo comes back and is like, "Dude, I told you, no fight." It was like, "I'm still a Russian, what was it? A Russian architect."
Right,
A
right.
Russian architect would still knock that guy out. He wouldn't kill him though. I'm playing the role.
I like his defense. Like, he just wouldn't let that go. Like architect or no, like a Russian just wouldn't let that go.
Right, yeah.
And I like how later on, when he's falling for Gabby a little bit, he gets her a ring, and she's like, "Hey, I'm not supposed to be wearing this. It got stolen. Remember?" He says, "Well, an architect would buy his wife another ring."
Yeah.
Like I like how I thought that was smooth. This film, I gotta say, if I didn't like the characters, I wouldn't have liked the movie. Each character in this film made me fall in love with this movie. And I think a lot of that is in a tribute to the performances.
Oh yeah, Henry Cavill and Armie Hammer basically hold this movie together. Not saying that the writing isn't good
It
or
is good.
anything.
Yeah.
The writing is good, but the fact of the matter is it's a pretty standard spy thriller. It's, we got to stop the nuclear weapon from getting in the wrong hands. It's pretty standard. What we have here, though, is two characters that mesh really well as polar opposites, played by two spectacular actors who pull it off phenomenally.
Yeah, I was surprised by how good they were in this movie. Because I know Henry Cavill. I never watched The Witcher, but I know Henry Cavill for Superman, right? That's how
Mhm.
I know Henry Cavill. And I know Army Hammer can act. I know he's kind of blacklisted now for all the allegations, but I've seen Sorry to Bother You and Social Network. I know Army can act, but like, yeah, they really do adapt these characters so well in this movie, and it keeps you engaged with their performances and their humor to see where this is gonna go. Another guy that's kind of like the MVP of this film too is Hugh Grant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he nails it, man. Like I love his one-liners. Like when he's at the party and he tells Solo, like, hey, I remember you. You're good with your hands. And Solo's like, excuse me? Because he wants to know if he caught on that he stole his thing. He says, oh,
Yeah.
I saw what you did with the table over there.
Yeah,
With
the
the
tablecloth. Were you a waiter, before? And
Right, right. I love that scene. And I like how later on they're in the plane and he says something that Kirakan doesn't catch on to. But he says, what did he say to him? It was a piece of dialogue. He said, oh, it's a bomb. And Kirakan was like, it's a bomb? He says, yes, yes. He says, wow, for two special agents, y'all not really having a special day, are you?
yeah.
Like,
Oh no, it was the ship. It was no, that's a helicopter, control or it was when they were coming down to the ship. It's a helipad.
mm-hmm.
It was like, that's a helipad? Wow, for a secret agent. You're
Yeah,
just not having a very special day, are you?
right. No, for a special agent, you're never having a special day.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, I thought that was cool, man. I thought that was pretty great. Yeah, another thing I like about this movie is I think the villain was pretty solid. I think she was a pretty solid villain. What did you think about her?
so originally I didn't realize she was the villain until like pretty late into the movie. Because when
Hmm.
she's first introduced and everything like that, we see Solo kind of, sway her a bit with
Right.
at the I can't remember, it was the racetrack. And it wasn't until like she got the phone call and she was like on her way to check on Solo to see if he was at his hotel room after they had a break in at their place that I was like, oh, she's the villain. You know, I don't know if I just didn't catch on earlier in the movie or if that was the point where you were supposed to tell that she was the villain or not.
Yeah, I think it was a twist. Like it was a twist that they dropped on us. Um and I thought it was a solid twist because then you think Gabby's involved in it too. And
Yeah.
then you learn that Gabby was really working with the British or the MI6, Alexander Waverly's team that was trying to help push them along to the finish line, kind of. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I liked it, man. I thought she was a solid villain. I thought she had the nice right of the nice amount of cunningness and kind of chess moves that a villain should have.
Yeah, and then she also has the one scientist with her that is basically into torture and everything, who has been
Oh
like
yeah.
studying the shock therapy and everything like that to, torture and get information.
Hmm.
And that's one of the deaths where it's done in a kind of comical way, but you don't feel bad about it at all. You're just like, oh yeah, that's good. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's really a oh well type of moment because
Right.
I like it. And there's like real stakes in that scene too, because this machine could really do damage to Solo, and this man is responsible for a lot of atrocities in World War II, right? Like
Yeah, basically he used the war as a way to get test subjects for his torture to see how well it would work.
yeah. So I like how the whole time when Kirakan saves him, they're standing outside and he's like, so what do you want to do with the man? He says, I mean the right thing would be to just arrest him, but he just end up getting out later and getting a
Yeah.
pound the back. And Kirakan's kind of nodding, agreeing with him. He's like, I guess we gotta do it. I guess we gotta do it the right way. And they turn around the whole time. He's just burning up in the background.
Right, yeah. Yeah, the electrical, short happened, and it caused the machine to go, and then it caught fire and everything,
Right.
and I love Solo's response to it is, "Dang it, I left my coat in there."
Right. They don't care about the he's died.
Right, yeah.
Um, but I love the underwater scene, dude. I love the scene where Solo saves Kurakan, which is basically that scene we just mentioned is a callback to that of Kurakan saving Solo, where he's playing the I think it's Italian. Is it Italian music he's playing, or is it like slow jazz?
So, it was I think it was Italian music. You're talking
Okay.
about in the car?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was just, like, I don't think it was jazz. I think it was just kind of Italian music.
Okay. Well, I like how you don't when he's going underwater, you hear nothing but that as he swims out and goes to save Karakin. I like how right before he has like a bottle of wine, like really enjoys himself before
Yeah.
he drives out in the water to save his friend.
Well, yeah, that entire montage, even before that, when they're breaking into the facility to try and like get information, I love how basically they're using this to like brag to each other about
Hmm.
their abilities with going through the fence, and Solo's clipping it with the wire cutters and everything like that. He's like, yeah, with what was it? CO or cut with a CO2 laser. And then
Hmm.
you just hear zzz, and he looks over and Kirakan's like, CO2 laser. And he's just stripping the fence so easily.
Right. You know what? You know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of Suicide Squad when Idris Elba and
Oh
John
yeah, where they
Cena.
were basically just having the dick swinging contest to see who's
Right.
better.
Yeah, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, I enjoyed this, man. I'm trying to think of another key moment I wanted to call out. Oh, dude, whoever did the score for this, Daniel Pemberton, he did a great score, man.
Oh yeah.
I love that song you hear when they're chasing each other through I don't know. I think it's like through the dirt hills, I guess is what it kind of was.
You're
Like,
talking about the scene that was basically shot with a drone where it kept doing the zooms and the pan. I love the
yeah.
cinematography of that chase scene, by the way.
Yeah, the music and the cinematography, that chase scene worked so well.
Oh, I heavily agree.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I feel like I feel like every time I watch a Guy Ritchie film, it feels like a well done opera. You know, it feels like a gun ballet film. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Whether it be kind of like kind of like gangster, like Snatch, or like I assume The Gentleman, or kind of like Sleek, like The Man from Uncle, or kind of like very classical, like Sherlock Holmes. He knows how to bring a lot of flair to his films.
Yeah, he does a great job as a director. Uh, I gotta say, I love how his movies always have like the cinematography is always a key point in his movies, and the Man from Uncle doesn't disappoint in that aspect at all. The scene in the beginning with the car chase and everything. It's very well shot with them kind of going down the aisles and going, up and down streets and everything, trying to avoid Kirikin. And I love, how they bring humor to it as well
Hmm.
with him, how many people are in the car? Just hum if there's one. Does he only have one hand on the wheel? And then he
Hmm.
goes to shoot him and, well, let's just hope his car doesn't go as fast as his reflexes. Apparently his car goes pretty fast.
yeah, I love the dialogue. The dialogue is great in this film.
Mhm.
Uh, Same rating for me. I give this a straight 4.
Yeah, I'd give this one a 4 as well. This one, it's a great kind of thriller movie. I wish we would have gotten more of like the spy aspect of it. Like we got a little bit of the gadgets during their one break-in scene,
Hmm.
but we didn't get really as many gadgets beyond that. Like that's one thing that I think Kingsman definitely upholds with the spy thriller kind of idea of the James Bond kind of level gadgets. You know, you have the umbrella that you can see through, and also it deflects bullets and stuff, and it has the stun, gun on it. You have the pen with the toxic ink that you can, remotely activate. The ring that you can use to, basically use as a taser.
Mhm.
And we didn't really get that much with The Man from U.N.C.L.E. It was a very calm one, but at the same time, there were glimpses of it with like the CO2 laser. You have, the dune buggy scene and everything, where he basically, I don't want to say he drives across the water, but more or less drives across the water.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta remember it's a '60s film. I mean, it's set in the '60s, so
Right.
Kingsman's universe is a bit more updated. It's present day, so I was kind of all right with that. Um, yeah, I gotta say, I guess since I'm giving both of them before, I gotta make a decision.
Yeah,
Um,
it's pretty clear which one I liked more. I gotta say, Kingsman wins out on this one to me.
yeah, I kind of like the Man from Uncle a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of grabbed me
Nope.
a bit more, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yep.
Um, yeah,
Just
well,
because
that's
of the characterization and everything.
I like the characterization more. It felt more sleek. It felt more it felt like it wasn't trying to go over the top. It felt like it was an upgraded version of the classical plot.
Okay.
And yeah, I was just smiling ear from ear the entire time. You know what I mean? Like this was a crowd pleaser to me.
Okay. Yeah, Kingsman is definitely over the top, but I think that's what I love about that movie. Like you
Mm.
said before, it was one of those things that you thought you didn't like, but ended up loving. Is yeah, it is very over the top, but that's what makes it a fun movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely a fun movie. I'll never take that away from it. And the performances are very good in that film as well. Yeah, I that's my take, man. You seen anything recently? I haven't really like seen much recently. You seen
Um,
Atlanta?
I Oh, that's right. The new season started. No, I haven't
Hmm.
seen the new season yet. Uh,
Okay.
have you watched it?
Nah, man. I'm kind of bad at that stuff. I kind of join when it's like halfway done.
I'll usually watch it when it eventually comes up on my radar. And typically that's when like 2 or 3 episodes have premiered. I did that with What We Do in the Shadows, the new Orville season and stuff. It was like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Which Atlanta is especially bad because we were literally just talking about it last week about how the new season's about to start.
Right,
And I had
right.
already forgotten.
It's like you pregame, but when the game comes on, you wait until next Sunday to watch the replay. And,
Right.
and everybody's already celebrating the win.
Yeah, basically everybody's going, "Oh my god, I can't believe they won." It's like, "Oh, the game was on. Dude, you were at the party." Yeah, but I left to go, pick up nachos and I kind of forgot.
Right, 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 right. Man. What was I about to say to you? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So, oh, the Emmys. I usually don't care about this type of stuff, but there's some controversy. Better Call Saul got nothing.
Really? At the
Yeah,
Emmys?
yeah, it got nothing.
Wait, who
Like,
got wins at the Emmys this year?
so I never finished the show, but the main actor from Squid Game got Best Actor. People were mad that Bob Odenkirk didn't get it because they wanted Better Call Saul to win something, and it didn't win anything.
Mhm.
Um, I forgot who got Best Actor in a dramatic series. I forgot, to be honest. I think
Lead actor in a drama was Squid Games. Comedy series
yo, that was
was,
him. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, Jason Sudeikis with Ted Lasso.
That's what I meant.
Um,
Um,
Lead
that's
actress Zendaya with drama series for Euphoria. Okay.
Yeah, I heard she's pretty good in the second season. I mean, she was good in the first, so I don't doubt it. Um, yeah, like they didn't get anything, and it's like I didn't know for their entire run they haven't gotten an Emmy
Really?
for their entire run.
There's gotta be.
Nah, no
There's no
wins.
way.
Yeah, I was shocked by that. I was like, no, they had to get something for like I don't know, like season 4 or something. They had to get something one
Yeah.
season. It's like, nah, ain't got not one Emmy. Like,
Jeez.
I don't know if Giancarlo Esposito ever got an Emmy for Breaking Bad. Like, that's what I was turning around in my head. I'm like, he had to have gotten something for Gus, but I don't know if he's gotten something, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to the Emmys too much. It's not one of the ones I care about. But looking at it, Chippendale Rescue Rangers got Best Television Movie.
I I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, the movie or the award?
uh, both. I didn't know that was a thing. Best television movie. I know best TV movie is an award, but they give it to animated films. I thought
Uh,
animated films was like best
no,
animated film.
Chippendale Rescue. It was a live action. It was a kind of Roger Rabbit movie where it was live action with animation.
Oh, okay. They went that route.
Yeah.
All right.
It actually wasn't too bad.
Oh, I'm speaking to a fan. Oh, okay. That's why. That's why
Oh,
I
yeah.
heard. I
I
heard.
don't think it should have won an Emmy by any means, but it wasn't a bad movie.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, I know Jonathan Banks who plays Mike and Giancarlo who plays Gus. They've been nominated, but they haven't won. Yeah, the show never
Jeez.
won an Emmy. Wow. It got 46 Emmy nominations in its run and didn't get an Emmy.
That is,
Wow.
there's something wrong with that.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy. Some people are saying like the second half of the season might have a chance at the next Emmys. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Well,
I'm not going to cross my fingers, but at the same time, I don't care. So,
well, that's the thing. I don't care, but I just thought that was very odd. Like The Wire, one of my favorite shows. I was mad that that never got an Emmy. You know what I'm saying? Another one of my favorite shows, The Sopranos, used to sweep Emmys. But
yeah.
yeah, like that's crazy. That's definitely crazy to me. Oh well. I was gonna ask you. Oh, did you see anything recently? Or you know you did? Yeah.
I did watch Clerks 3.
Mm.
So I did go to the theaters and see that one. And it was decent. He definitely cranks up like the emotional factor on this one, which I don't think fell as well as he had hoped, at least not to me. Uh
Yeah. Yeah, I had heard something and slight spoiler alert, folks, because I ain't gonna say names, but I had heard that certain characters uh wife and daughter died. And when I heard that, I was like, how is he gonna
mhm.
play that up? Like, you
Yeah,
know,
it plays it up a little bit and everything like that. But where
is
the
it believable? Or is it kind of like, here's forced trauma in a
it's
Kevin Smith way?
believable in the way that it happens, but the
Oh,
way that the character reacts to it is a little bit off. It kind
mm,
of feels very like, oh, you should feel sad about this instead of like, it tells you, it doesn't show you how you should feel kind of thing.
hmm,
Uh, but where the movie has its strong points is basically with its meta humor, which is something that Kevin Smith has been great at recently with his movies,
mm-hmm.
with Jay and Silent Bob reboot and everything like that. And this movie, they both do a great job of like pulling in the meta humor. Like in the movie, Silent Bob, Kevin Smith's character is the character that controls the camera and everything. So every time there's a joke about cinematography, Kevin Smith is the joke person telling the joke. No, we got to get this kind of shot for this, and everything is like, all you do is stand outside and smoke weed all day. Yeah, but I'm still better at this than you.
The Silent Bob is talking more in this one.
He talks just as much as he does in the other ones, where it's
Okay.
literally just for the comedic effect of him just saying something profound out of nowhere.
Right. That's funny. Um, yeah, I imagine if I see this film, it'll be for nostalgic sake.
That's what it
Actually,
is. It's a great nostalgic movie to be brought back to like the Clerks, the first movie.
yeah, I like the first film. I actually enjoyed the second film. A lot of people didn't. I thought it was
Oh, I
solid.
love the second film.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid sequel. I thought it was well done. Upgrade from a convenience store to they're in a restaurant, right?
Yeah, they were in a like McDonald's style restaurant.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. But a lot of people kind of gave us some crap, but I here's the thing. I'm not as well versed in Kevin Smith's latest stuff. Like everything from I don't want to say dogma, but everything from Jersey Girl on. I love Jersey Girl.
Mhm.
I haven't really been catching up on him like that. I didn't see the reboot film. I know you told me you saw it when you went to the premiere at the Fox Theater. It was right.
Yeah, they had when they were doing the tour for the movie and everything, they had the showing here at the Fox Theater in Detroit.
Okay, so here's where it is. Past Zach and Miri make a porno, I haven't really seen anything. I started Red State, which I liked, but I never really finished it. Um,
I keep forgetting he made that movie because that's such a like turn from his other movies.
the running joke is that the best Kevin Smith movie is the most unlike Kevin Smith movie, and that's Red State. Everyone says Red State is his best film because it's so unlike him.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that he made that movie because when I was even trying to think of his movies and everything like that after Dogma. It's like, okay, it was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Zach and Miri Make a Porno, or Cop Out, and then it was Tusk, and then
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot about Red State. Like I
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I heard Red State is good though. I want to go back and finish it.
it was a very good one.
Yeah, yeah, I never got into Tusk. I heard it's weird, but I never got into it.
We got to watch that one sometime. That's going on a future episode. I don't know what we'll pair it with, but we'll find something.
Yeah, I've heard of Yoga Hosers. That didn't really look like that was my kind of movie. Um,
That was basically him, his daughter, and Johnny Depp's daughter, having fun making a movie.
let's just make a movie with our daughters.
Pretty much.
Okay, gotcha. All right, say no more.
So if you're enjoying, if you can basically go, this is just going to be a fun movie, you'll enjoy it as long as you don't go, but what's the plot? Just shut up and watch the movie.
I got you. Say no more. Yeah, I didn't see Kilroy was here. I didn't see Reboot. So I kind of been a little
Kilroy hasn't released yet.
oh, it hasn't. Hold
I
up.
don't think so.
2022 anthology film. The film was released as NFTs. Oh, this was
Oh
released.
God,
It was
really?
I didn't
God
even
damn it, Kevin.
I walked right into that one, man. I didn't know this was an NFT thing. I walked right into that, dude. I didn't know that, man. Yeah, this is an NFT movie, dude. That's why you haven't seen it.
Okay, well, I I guess I'm never seeing that one because I refuse.
You don't want to watch it for the culture.
Oh, you actually had me pull up Kevin Smith's filmography Wikipedia just so I could confirm that. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's an NFT. God damn it, Kevin. You had such a good run.
Have you seen Cop Out?
Yeah,
Is it good or is it just dumb?
it's
See, I
it
don't mind
it's
Tracy
not a
Morgan
bad
sometimes.
movie. It's just not. It didn't feel like a Kevin Smith movie,
Oh wow.
and it's on the bad end of it doesn't feel like a Kevin Smith movie. You know,
So go ahead.
like when you have like Clerks, Mallrats, Jay and Silent Bob, it's like, okay, those are Kevin Smith movies.
Mhm.
Then you have Zach and Miri Make a Porno, which is kind of on the cusp where scenes of it you're like, okay, this is a Kevin Smith movie, and other parts you're like, I can't really feel the Kevin Smith in this, but okay. uh Cop Out and Red State are the ones that are just so far in left field, but Cop Out is the direction of not so good, where Red State is in the direction of absolutely fantastic.
Okay. Okay. All right then. Um Yeah, so let me ask you this, because some people are kind of looking at Kevin as the villain lately. Like they haven't been agreeing with a lot of stuff he's been saying about comic book movies related discussions and topics. And it's kind of like that you either die a hero or live long enough to be the villain. Do you think Kevin Smith's kind of fell off?
Um, I mean, his way of like making movies and everything is definitely more based on nostalgia now than creativity, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Like his meta humor is on point, I think, but creating like great narratives, his time has passed. You know, we
Mm,
won't like Mallrats is a staple. Clerks is a staple. But at the same time, I don't look at Tusk and go, "Oh, this is a staple movie." It's a fun movie with crazy ideas in it, but it's not a staple movie that everybody needs to watch at some point. Uh,
mm,
Clerks 3 isn't going to be a staple movie that everybody needs to see as much as Clerks or Dogma. Basically, he had a great starting run, and that was now he's kind of making movies for himself, and it's not for everybody.
hmm. I would definitely say he was a man of his generation. I would definitely say that. Like the independent Hollywood movement, him, Tarantino, Wes Anderson, Spike Lee, they all pretty much made their lane in that whole era and made
Mhm.
it well. Uh yeah, that's a little upsetting to hear. I mean, who knows the future? But
Oh yeah, he could come out with another hit next year and everybody would be back on his side. That's the one thing where people are like, "Oh yeah, I can't stand Kevin Smith because of this and that, and he said this and that." It's like, "Okay, well, you're not going to agree with everybody all the time." You
mhm,
know, if you do, you're in a cult. Congratulations. Uh
mhm.
every director is going to have a movie where it's like, okay, that wasn't so much for me, but hopefully the next one I'll enjoy.
I gotta admit, man, I wasn't a big fan of Zach and Mary, and I don't want to trash Kevin Smith, but it's like I don't know, man. That movie just wasn't. That movie didn't do it for me.
I thought it was funny. It was a good comedy,
Mm, okay,
but it wasn't some spectacular kind of masterpiece.
yeah, like the View-esque universe. You just had to be around and experience it, man. Like, and I don't mean like around like in the times when the films were coming out. You had to just understand these films. Like the way I saw them when I was a kid, I had saw Chasing Amy first. No, it was Dogma because my mama rented Dogma, and I remember I that movie was so weird to me because I like it was disturbing, but it was funny at the same time, and it dealt with
Mhm.
faith and God, and I was like, that was a weird movie. Like, who made that? And then as I got older, I started watching like Clerks and Chasing Amy and the Clerks animated cartoon. I was like, that's when I kind of like became in with the universe. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of got all the connections. And it's like, if you're not really in the universe, you don't really get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my introduction was actually Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which, funny enough, was the closer to the View Askew kind of movies. Like that was going to be his last movie.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's funny that that's the one that I got introduced to him on, and then I went back and ended up watching the rest of them in the order: Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, and yeah, that when it comes to those five movies, absolute hits. We've talked about Clerks and Mallrats in a previous episode.
Dude, I love Mallrats. I don't care how stupid it is, how much it hasn't aged well. Mallrats is funny to me.
Oh yeah, when am I going to see the boat?
Oh yeah, the boat, the kid on the escalator. Uh dude, that whole movie is funny to me. I can't denounce that movie. It's funny.
Right.
Hmm. All right, man. Well, that's it for me. Anything else from you?
Nothing else on my end.
All right, y'all. It's been another great episode of DFV. And y'all take care, like, share, and subscribe. Peace.